Over here as well, a private flyer. One of the well-known people who used to own one was Martin Shaw, the actor, but I recently sold that for a Piper Cub. So, very, very sturdy aircraft, just a job for doing this sort of task. She must be very keen. She's waving away there. Now come on, wave back to her, please. Give her something. Okay, this is the aircraft used by the US Army Air Corps, first ordered in 1935.
Sorry?
And was one of the basic trainers for the US Army Air Corps and the US Air Force. Note the beautiful highly coloured airframe that we have here. Powered by one 220 horsepower Continental R670 engine, which gives it a top speed of almost 100 mile an hour to 120 mile an hour. And just imagine while...
Okay, so here we go, taking off to you now. The base Spearman on the wing main. Give her a big wave, everybody. Now Maeve's got a tough job up there this afternoon. Not only does she need to wave her arms and her legs around and smile ferociously, but she also has to battle with all the flies flying at her, the wind battering her hair, and a G-force of up to 2G, 3G into the steep dives, which will be flying her into 120 miles an hour as she skips down the low fly path. The display this afternoon is what we would call a barnstorming display. And for those of you that are familiar with the history of aviation, you'll know that between the two world wars, there are lots of pilots with aeroplanes and not a lot to do. So they took their aeroplanes around the country in what we call flying circuses, and they created barnstorming. The name originates from when the first pilots decided to literally fly from one side of a barn right through the barn and out the other side. So then the term barnstorming was created. Pilots would then talk into their daughters, their wives, their girlfriends, and sometimes their engineers and put them up on the wing. So here she goes, up to 120 miles an hour. Give her a big wave, everybody! Now, of course, we mustn't forget about the pilot as well. He's working really hard in that aeroplane. He'll be watching his height, watching the wind, watching the speed, and watching his precious daughter on the wing to make sure she's safe. At Aerobatic Tactics, we work really hard to make sure that all the safety regulations are adhered to, and we work closely to make sure everything is planned and rehearsed to the minutest of details. There's not enough waving coming from the crowd. Come on, give her a wave, everyone. She can see you.
Yes, it's a beautiful sound, isn't it, Sam? All I have to say is, what on earth do these girls really want on this wing? I mean, according to my notes here, if you experience your first flight, it's called a rookie flight. Now, whatever rookie means, but urging you to wave. And there she is. What a brave girl.
So, the girl's distracting you, Robin. Are you going to tell us about this engine?
I'll tell you about this engine, yes. It's a great big radial engine, as I mentioned early on. It is a 220 horsepower Continental. And this aircraft was used as one of the main trainers for the United States Air Force and the United States Army Air Corps. In competition with the Ryan PT-1, I suppose you would call this aircraft the equivalent of our Tiger Mont, in the initial pilots usually flew the Boeing Stearman. Now she is, wow, look at that view of the customers, what a magnificent shot. Very gracefully thrown by Tony there. And May thoroughly enjoying herself, I can tell. She's getting the adrenaline rushing through her veins. And let's play some of this appropriate music for her as she comes round. I mean, we all know those magnificent men in the flying machines. Well, here we've got that magnificent woman on the flying machine. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big wave as Tony brings the steerman round, and the angle that May will see everybody along the crowd line. That's it. Fantastic, fantastic.
I'm only sticking up for women power, you see.
A nice, very low pass. Wow. Very good. She doesn't wear a helmet. She just lets her hair fly around in the wind.
So while Robin tries to get the music to work, do come along and see the boys in blue. We've got the lovely Matthew and Ollie waiting to talk to you over by the flight line with a poster that says "Walk with us." So if you want to have a chat about wing walking and find out more, then go and see the boys from Aerobatic Tactics over by the display line. So here she comes, give her a big wave as she climbs up, ready for a steep dive at 120 miles an hour. Well, the modern technology, we're sorry we couldn't get the music to you. Who needs an iPhone when we've got a 1940s aeroplane anyway? So there's Richard and Maeve. She's still waving ferociously as they come downwind ready to land from what was a really exciting barnstorming display from Richard and Maeve of Aerobatic Tactics.